Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to the 6th ever Echoes and Edges Open Collab. My name is Charlie, and this man here is Jake, and together we are Echoes and Edges, and we every month do a live stream where we improvise music and soundscape in our cozy little home studio here in Bristol, and we have been sent in a record number of incredible poetry submissions this month, and we can't wait to share them with you. So we're going to be improvising, making stuff up around these amazing poetry performances, and we're so excited. We're so excited that we bought a balloon. Now, for this 6-month show, there are several changes. The first is, I don't know if you noticed, but we're actually in HD. Whoa.
I think.
Yeah, probably.
Depending on your device.
Which leads me to my next point. We're going to be doing loads of loops and picking up loads of different instruments around our studio. So, and there's going to be lots of kind of panning and effects. So if you can watch this in headphones, rather than on your phone speaker or tablet speaker, headphones are definitely better. Just a
highly recommend.
Little tip. We've got headphones. What's the next thing to tell you? So maybe we should have been just celebrating a year, right? Maybe we should have stayed cool and chilled out and not celebrated and not bought a balloon for 6 months. But actually, it's 2020 and we wanted something to celebrate, right? And so we wanted to celebrate our milestones, no matter kind of how big or small. And so that was where the kind of inspiration for setting milestones as our prompt was for this month. So we've not done a prompt before. Some of the poems you'll hear are to the prompt and some of them aren't. And we were so moved by how that prompt of just one word, milestones, has been interpreted and kind of taken by everyone. And people have even written poems just for us, which is amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So what should we talk about first? Well, keep commenting, right? We want people to comment.
Yes, please.
And we want people to kind of really start chatting. This night is all about community and building connections and collaborations around the UK and around the world. So first of all, I want you all to say hello if you can, and say where you are in the world. It would be great to see where you are. We also ask that if you can, then as I say, this is all about community. So all the poems that you're going to hear tonight, all of their social media and everything is all in the description of this video. So do get following everybody and share the love.
Share the love.
Share the love. Yes. Now, one last point of admin. Mm-hmm. Yes?
Yes.
Okay, I'll keep going. Shall I? I don't know. Yeah.
You're in the flow.
I'm in the flow.
Zone, you know.
We would really love your support tonight. There are 2 ways that you can do that. The first is by, the same as always, supporting us on a website called Ko-fi. Ko-fi is a website where you can buy us a £3 little coffee, and you don't need to sign up to anything. It's really quick and easy. We ask for a donation of 2 coffees, which is £6 for a kind of online ticket for this event. If we were in venue, that's kind of what we'd be charging for a ticket for this event. So we found that it's a really good way for you guys to support us. However, if you would like to support us in a more kind of long-term way, this month we've set up an account on something called Patreon. Patreon is a platform for creatives, musicians, podcasters. I'm sure that actually, even without realizing, you probably listen to a podcast or watch YouTube videos from somebody that is on Patreon. Patreon for us is going to be a kind of more monthly subscription and a kind of little special club where you guys can there's kind of perks to your monthly payment of things like we're going to have a whole extra feed of backstage stuff. We're going to put your name on the credits at the end. We're going to the most exciting thing
What is the most exciting thing, Charlie?
I'll tell you. The most exciting thing is that the day after an Open Collab,
That's tomorrow.
which is tomorrow, we're going to start doing exclusive Patreon-only live streams, which we're calling Sunday Brunch Behind the Scenes. So what we'll do is we'll come on like this, and it'll be the day after, and we'll be like worn out, and last night was great, and fingers crossed. And we'll talk you through kind of, you'll get lots of reaction from us. You'll get to ask us questions, and we'll talk you through our kind of creative process for some of the poems, and talk you through our highlights and things that we felt that we really enjoyed doing. So that will be like an exclusive little club. You know, we kind of didn't expect this project to take off like it has, really. Our Instagram this 2 weeks ago was on 400 followers, and we're now up to nearly 2,000 in a fortnight, and it's just been amazing. So thanks for joining our club. When we started it in April, we kind of thought it would just be a couple of months just to get us through lockdown, to keep us creating music, to keep us collaborating. And actually, we found that it's probably going to go, we want it to go on and on. It's the best thing that we're doing, and we're just loving it. And having your support, either as a one-off on Coffee or as a monthly subscription, would be so, we'd be so grateful for that. Because it allows us, we don't make any money elsewhere from this project, it's just from you guys. So that would be really, really cool, because we think, you know, I don't want to blow our own trumpets, but I think that we've got something really unique here, and I think we just want to keep going, right?
But one thing we don't have yet is trumpets. So
that would be great.
One day we'll have our own trumpets, and we might well blow them.
And one other thing we want to do with the Patreon, with the support that we get from the Patreon, would be to one day turn this show into a podcast, right? Yeah. The live show just straight in your ears. That would be awesome as well, so you can listen back anytime. Right, that's that. That's the admin. Done.
Safety exits and fire exits are wherever they are in your house. Make sure you're comfortable. Have plenty of water. Run to the loo anytime you need. You know, it's not going to disturb us. It's probably not going to disturb anyone else either.
And most importantly, cheers.
Cheers.
Happy half birthday to Open Collab.
6 cheers.
Okay. So, let's get on with it then, shall we? Come on. So, the first poem that you're going to hear tonight is going to be introduced by Jake, because I've spoken for ages.
Yes, it is. So the first poet tonight is Steve Head, and Steve Head is a poet and novelist from the leafy dullness of the London suburbs, now living in Paris. So his piece is called Summer in Springtime, and he says about the piece, in May 2013, I met my wife in Paris whilst visiting France on a road trip. It was a chance encounter which led us to travelling back and forth across the Channel to visit each other every other week, taking night buses and spending our time gradually getting to know each other and slowly falling in love. This poem relates the heady, almost hallucinatory sensations I felt during those first couple of months. Right. So, yes, we've got a few things in our mind of what we want to do with this.
Yeah, I'm going to play Ula, the U-bass.
And we'll get going with the first poem from Steve Head.
I remember the night bus, the white city peeling like a skin fix transfer from the early dawn haze. The church on the hilltop, an angel-domed lighthouse on a hand-painted rock. You could see it from miles out, shimmering in the upper 90s vapor-laden air, cloaked in mist and shifting, an untuned station, skipping in and out of focus, drifting on the borderlines and faltering like an afterthought or an image once recalled. In Gallieni dripping sweat down red-lined face, creased shirt and aching neck, heavy-eyed from lack of almost any sleep at all. Chelsea in the rear view. Backseat matted hair and rumbling insides, heaving brimful seam-split rucksacks off the luggage racks and slipping sun-sore forearms through torn shoulder straps that sighed beneath the strain. It was good to be back again, and then again, on undercity trains tumbling out into the outer reaching suburbs caked in heat stroke. Streets like treacle, sticking to the soles of slow-baked Converse buses screeching through the petrol fumes and yellow smoke, and metal seats like teaspoons left to char in blackened frying pans, words sticking in my throat. The estate like a forge mouth, your room like a hearth. We dragged sheets off the bed and slept under the window, with the sun beating upwards, the screams of the neighbours, and the murmur of cars. It was summer in springtime, that strange roaring season when Paris was ours.
It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours. It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours. That strange roaring season when Paris was ours. It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours.
It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours. It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours. It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours.
Summer and springtime when Paris was ours. It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours. It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours. It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours.
It was summer in springtime, that strange roaring season when Paris was ours.
Paris was ours. It was summer and springtime when Paris was ours.
Ah. Thanks, Nikki. Thank you, Steve. That's such a beautiful, beautiful poem, and we wanted to start with some love and some positivity, didn't we? Ah, that was lovely. Thank you, Steve. So, if you want to hear more from Steve, I think we all do, right? So let's all go to his Instagram after this, which is in the description.
In the description. Sorry. we didn't practice that bit.
No, sorry.
So there's a lot of information in the description to follow all the poets after the show. But in the meantime, we are going to carry on with our next poet and our next poem, who is Max Avan from Bath with their poem Against the World.
Hi, Max.
Hi, Max. I saw that Max was in the chat earlier, so Hello, welcome.
Max.
Thanks for coming. And thanks for sending in your piece.
We know Max in real life, don't we?
We do,
From
yes.
in the before times.
In the before times.
When we did live gigs. Max is, shall I? Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I need to get the bass.
No problem.
Sorry.
So Max is a Bath-based performance poet and musician, and he is currently the president of Bath Spa's University Spoken Word and Performance Poetry Society. That's a mouthful, isn't it? And we met Max at a gig in Bath in February, which I think was one of our last ever gigs in the before times. So
Yes, it was.
this poem is called Against the World. And Max says, I wrote this piece at the start of 2019 on the long journey back from Manchester after watching a group of friends perform their final gig together. I was very emotional and was scared that I would lose these friends as they lived across the country and were moving on to new stages of their life. This piece is a reflection on why the things we love must eventually come to an end in order for us to develop. While the piece is not necessarily sad, I do perform it in a calm and tranquil tone. So, thank you, Max. You're on that. You're doing that. We need to swap places, actually, please. I want to play the big boy piano. Do other people call pianos big boy pianos?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Whoa. I got tangled in all sorts of wires then.
There's
Right.
a lot of wires here. It's very tangly.
Very tangly.
Okay. Sorry then. Right, I'm back to this.
So, this is Max Avan with Against the World.
We take each other's hands one night. Total strangers as we dance among the stars. You write the music and I sing along, none the wiser as to where this dance will take us. Fast forward 5 years and we stand here again. The streets aren't the same, but the stars never changed, shining down proudly at the family we have become. For it would seem that weaving your lyrics into the fabric of the sky has let you reach your hands out to more than just me. Hundreds of people stand here now, all part of the same constellation. It's a beautiful thing, to be connected across the oceans. To hold hands with strangers like sisters and brothers do, we all look to you. For your arms are the bridges across land and sea, and your hearts are our hotels. You tell me a family like this is all you could have hoped for. The once polluted sky is finally alight with the stars you've brought together, glistening like tears in each other's light. You've reached your final milestone, and therefore you have to move on. I cry and hold you tightly, as in order for a bridge to move on, it must first be knocked down. I fear for the future of our stars, terrified of returning to the empty black nights of my past. But you remind me that while bridges may break down, stars have the ability to fly. You remind me that with these new bridges under construction, midnight will be brighter than ever before. You remind me that your hearts are still hotels, for hotels need only expand to cover more ground. So your hands will always be there for me to hold, and we can dance to your songs once more. The stars will always shine, as a family forged in the melody of the sky is one that will never burn out. So your hands will always be there for me to hold, and we can dance to your songs once more. The stars will always shine as a family forged in the melody of the sky is one that will never burn out.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Max. That's so lovely, isn't it? And another journey and a milestone. And I can, in both those cases, in Steve's and in Max's, you can kind of feel, I'm on a train or a bus and whatever, and I'm, contemplating milestones, contemplating new phases. So thank you so much for your poem, Max. That was great.
Swap around again, I think.
Swap around again, I think.
All change. Please.
All change. Okay. Whoa. Are we tangled? No, we're okay.
There's as much choreography to the moving between seats so that we don't tangle each other up as there is in the music itself.
Yeah.
So, I'm feeling pretty good. You feeling pretty good?
I'm feeling pretty good. Got a beer. Playing some music. Lovely stuff.
Lovely stuff.
So, the next poem, what do I need? Hang on. Before I introduce it, what instrument do I need? I've made it go full screen. Oh no. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry.
I think you're on the bass again.
Oh yeah. Big boy bass, yeah.
Whichever bass you like, I suppose.
This one's plugged in.
All right. Let's get ready for that one. And then we'll tell everyone what it is.
All right.
I mean, we could just carry on and you just guess who it is.
Yes, just guess. Okay, so the next poem is by Amanda Miller. And Amanda Miller is from Connecticut. And this poem is called Venus Half Moon. Venus Half Moon is a 2-part poem written from the point of view of an omniscient narrator that sees the relationship between two beings. Whether both are human or not is up to the reader. The foundation of the poem is a character who is dealing with unrequited love. There is a complexity in the unrequited love because there is a sense of character, who there is and yet not there, intrusive and yet invisible. Even still, the main character, who cries at the kitchen table, feels so attached to this being who exists in her mind and has not truly met. So. Yeah, Venus Half Moon.
I'm ready.
So we need something kind of spacey, but also kitchen table-y.
I found this on the kitchen table. Sorry. I found this on the kitchen table. I didn't actually. I found it in our music room, which is right here.
Are you going to use Atmos?
I am. Shall I speak about that now?
Yeah, all right.
Okay. I had adjusted the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Ready for the next thing, but that's right. So yeah, a big part of the thing that we love to do, I guess, I think it's a part, is add some atmos to these poems and these pieces that we create that sort of help position them and locate them in places. Not necessarily around the globe, although the sounds that we use are from all over the world. Just to sort of position you in the space of the poem, and Atmos is a really interesting way of doing that. And lots of these are sounds that we've recorded ourselves on various different holidays and trips and seeing family or just going out on walks around Bristol or further afield. And yeah, just capturing that moment in sound. So this particular one is me walking through sort of Australian bush off the coast of Victoria in the southeast of Australia, and on an island there, and it's very remote. And although you don't really hear that it's remote and how far away it is from here, it still has a nice sort of place in my heart, at least. So let that be in your heart too. And yeah, so there's lots of other sounds that you'll hear throughout, some of which are mine, most of which are ours, but some of which are not. So yes, let me know in the chat which ones are not ours. I don't know how you'll be able to tell, but anyway. Interaction though, isn't it? So this is this is Amanda Miller with Venus Half Moon. And let me just readjust my mic.
Venus Half Moon. Her breath, a sea of wrinkled cries, lingers around the kitchen table, her teacup filling like a basin. A figure of clay, you patched her chiseled cracks, knowing you would soon again break them. Stringing her with your budding eyes, she resurrected, the scar tissue receding, a worshipper at your feet. For what? Aching water swollen from the moon's vengeance, she wants nothing more than your mercy from the tantalizing nights, the intrusive daydreams. Clouds, papery and bright, stitch your hands, a fibrous sky cotton. In life and in dust, she believes you are there, in the puddles of her mind, in every song a fictitious love story. She looks for you in the river hum, but you live in matters of the dark. Where have you gone this time? She fell to her knees, mourning with the wolves. Ash scoured the earth when you spoke. I never meant for this to happen. She had faith in the howls that adorn the sky for centuries, the rippling exhale of teeth and air, flooding her soul. Part of her, part of you. A miracle. The blood tissue has not yet tied itself around her neck. Your words, they stick. The dewy satin that caresses her for weeks. And when you emerged, like a flash rain, showering a forgotten desert, her heart questioned the minutes she kept counting. She wondered, why do you hoard love as if it's for keeping? The bees shown you sacrifice. The waves taught you to relinquish. While you roamed different sheets, she spread her cherished whispers between ivory and papyrus. She prayed for an aurora, her heart waxing, and as light seeped through indefinite darkness, she beat on, in the same transient glow. You were there, in the eclipse of lovers. She would not let you go. You were always her Venus half moon.
Nice. Thank you so much, Amanda. What a beautiful and mesmerizing. That's a good word. Thank you. Mesmerizing poem. Thank you, Amanda. Wow. Wow. So, where are we going now? Well,
we are doing things a little bit differently with the next one, or should I say two?
We're going to play two together now. We found some reoccurring themes, right, in some of the poems that we received, and so we wanted to fit them both into the same world, right? And so that's what we're going to do. So the next two poems you're going to hear, we'll introduce them both together now, and then we're going to play them one after another. And if you've seen the show before, we're going to have videos in a new way, which is exciting too. They're going to be in a box next to us, which I can't wait for. So this is our first video of the night, isn't it?
It's going to be over there.
There it is.
It's ready. The space is ready.
So exciting. So we've got two poems to introduce now. The first is by Luke Addison, and it's called Each Day She Wakes Him. So, Luke says, "Hello, I am a 27-year-old drama teacher and carer from Woking. Each day she wakes him is inspired by a number of people I met whilst caring. It focuses mainly on the wife of a man who now has dementia. Often the partners of those with great challenges are overlooked as the focus of attention is always on them. I found that actually speaking with the partner of the person I was looking after helped them so much, and often their own struggles and challenges are overlooked. So that's Luke. Each day she wakes him. And then we're going to hear, after that, Abby Hayes, with her poem, The Longest Goodbye. Abby is from the east coast of Scotland and says she spends as much time as possible at the beach or hiding in her favourite coffee shop. She says words tumble out of her in verse, so poetry is her preferred writing form. But there's a short story or two scribbled in her notebook as well. So The Longest Goodbye is the story of a final milestone and the realisation that when it comes to emotions and the connections between us and within us, that nothing is final. So, let's start with Luke. Each day she wakes him.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Each day she wakes him. Each day she wakes him, she'll say the same thing. It's me, your wife, Lynn. She sees he's trying, at least he might be. Beneath the crying, between the sighings, she seeks to find him. Behind his eyelids, alive with 5 kids, a wife of 45 years, she thought she might live a normal life with before this crisis. They called it Alzheimer's. She remembers the tension as they tried to present them with these lines and these charts and these guides for prevention. Well, it's called a disease, but it's a type of dementia, and we've caught it quite early, said the doctor who met her. It probably feels there's a lot to remember. It's possible we've got till the end of December, so pop in next week to meet your dementia befriender. But that was all back in September, before her panic attacks, and his hands had a tremor that suggests she relaxed and then she'd feel better. How she wished they were back when he first met her. How he fished as she sat writing him letters. How they kissed their first flat, how they braved through all weathers. But today his fists raised. Once again he forgets her. He's enraged, feeling strange, he's developed this temper. She remembers the first day that they came to the centre, deep in pain on his birthday, hesitating to enter. On the way heard a nurse say that's the worst case on record. But oh, how his words stay in her brain as he led her. He'd say, it could be worse, hey, at least we're together. Though that was true at the time that he said it, what they'd go through would slowly develop. Misplacing shoes, phones, keys were never in their place. They had moved, but mostly the pressure. There was more to lose than simply possessions. She'd put up little clues in the kitchen and bedroom. You're Dave, you live here, you're 67. To tell you the truth, she never knew if he read them. Perhaps their use was helping her to feel better. What else could she do to help him remember? Would he make it through to the end of December? Christmas came quickly, or so it seemed. This nightmare she lived in was also a dream. Just simply living was now a routine. She'd still wake him up at 8:15, look into his face and tell him it's me. He'd stare into space and then he would breathe a sigh of relief, or so it seemed. She brushed all his teeth and helped him get clean. Now in a rush, she'd help him to eat. He'd make a fuss as she tugged on his feet, getting cross that his socks were the wrong kind of green. She'd explain they're the same as they'd ever been. But she hadn't lost her patience in weeks. She'd embraced that the rage comes alongside the grief. It's amazing but strange how love's strong belief is the key, so it seemed, to what's underneath. So she just loved him more, the parts she could see, and the rest in her head, she knew his heart did still beat, the same as it did as ever before. Though keys still went missing, she could never ignore how it feels when she kissed him, and he said he was sure. Though his socks may be different, and his head is still sore, with every minute, he loves her more.
longest goodbye. We sit, your hand in mine, for days, weeks, months at a time. Not a single word between us, but the quiet beauty of our love resonating like an old familiar song, melodic in our bond. You don't know this place, can't place my face, but you know that I'm love as you drift away. And that is enough for me, needs to be enough for me. As your eyes grow wide, searching for safety, lost in long forgotten places, they fall on me peacefully. Your hand clings to mine ceaselessly, I hold your fears steady. As our memories treasured float like feathers on a breeze, leaving behind another missing piece of our story, another page blurring, ink smearing, words disappearing line by line. As we sit, your hand in mine. And when it's time for you to go, and I think to myself, you've reached your final milestone, I realize there is nothing final about you leaving. Your memories, moments, stories that you're in echo through our hearts. Your milestones are part of our bones, part of who we are, and now they're written in the stars.
The memories, moments, stories, the joy echo through our hearts. Your milestones are part of our bones, part of who we are. Now they're written in the stars. Now they're written in the stars. All the memories, moments, stories, the joy echo through our hearts. Your milestones are part of our bones. Oh, they're part of who we are. Now they're written in the stars. 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 So she just loved him more. The parts that she could see, that she could never ignore. How it feels when she kissed him. With every minute he loves her more. He loves her more. You don't know this place, but you know that I am loved. You don't know this place, but you know that I am loved. The memories, moments, stories, the joy echo through our hearts. Your milestones are part of our bones, part of who we are. Now they're written in the stars. 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 All the memories, moments, stories, the joy in echo through our hearts. Your milestones are part of our bones. Oh, they're part of who we are. Now they're written in the stars. They're written in the stars. The memories, moments, stories of yours, they echo through our hearts. Your milestones are part of our bones, part of who we are. Now they're written in the stars. Written in the stars.
So she just loved him more, the parts she could see, and the rest in her head. She knew his heart did still beat, the same as it did as ever before. Though keys still went missing, she could never ignore how it feels when she kissed him, and he said he was sure. Though his socks may be different, and his head is still sore, with every minute he loves her more.
And when it's time for you to go and I think to myself, you've reached your final milestone, I realise there is nothing final about you leaving. Your memories, moments, stories that you're in echo through our hearts. Your milestones are part of our bones, part of who we are, and now they're written in the stars.
Your memories, moments, stories that shine, echo through our hearts. Your milestones are part of our bones, part of who we are. Now they're written in the stars, written in the stars.
Sorry, everyone.
Oh, sorry.
But also thanks. Thank you so much for those really powerful words, Luke and Abby.
That was, yeah. Oh, I can't. Thank you so much, Luke and Abby, for two really beautiful poems. Wow. How's it going in the chat? Is everyone okay?
I think so. Lots of chat.
There's a lot of chat.
We'll have to read through all of that.
Oh, I
later
can't
on.
wait to read through
Sorry
that.
that we can't be a little bit more interactive, but
Oh, blimey.
Yeah.
I need to lie
keep
down.
going.
Um,
Well, we've got time for a long time after the next one.
yeah.
This is our yes.
A what? A ludrum?
A lie down.
A lie down. Okay.
Yes.
Let's have a lie down.
Yes.
Right.
If you haven't been to one of our open collabs before, we like to have a little break in the middle to sort of get some fresh air. You can go and get a
Another
cuppa.
beer.
We go and get a cuppa because obviously you can go and get a cuppa whenever you like, but we can't. So after the next one, we're going to take a very short 10-minute break. There'll be a little bit of hold music for you to listen to.
It's a
Nikki's
great
big
time
fan.
to check out our Patreon
Yes.
page and our coffee
Yeah,
page and buy your
absolutely.
online ticket.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah.
So,
The next one.
shall I? Or would you like to?
Depends.
Okay, I'll do it. Yeah. So
Oh,
then,
hang on. I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Actually, carry on because I'm just gonna I'm gonna put the link in the chat so that people can just go.
oh, great. Okay. So the last poem of this half is by Rohan Samuel, and it's called Seasonal Change. Rohan says, I'm a spoken word artist who is new to the scene. I write poetry to try and inspire people to create a domino effect of positivity and make a change in society one word at a time. Rohan's from London, and this piece, Seasonal Change, he says, looks at the emotion of depression that was hidden by anger when I was younger. It goes through my transition of emotions and how each of these stages links with the weather. I've used different weathers in the wordplay of this piece, and there's a lot to look out for. So, I'm playing. What shall I play?
What are you playing? What am I playing?
I'll play. Oh yeah. I know. I'll play piano.
Piano.
Play my
Piano.
little boy
sorry,
piano,
yeah.
if that's the big boy piano.
Yes, and this was Rohan Samuel with seasonal change. Sorry, there's
Oh,
the
another
title.
video too.
And another video. So,
By the way, I handwrite all the titles. I don't know if you've noticed, but I write them out so that I write them out a few times so that they wiggle, and the same with the logo as well. So we're very. Oh, also another thing I was going to say while Jake's setting up is it's interesting because we had a message the other day saying, could you put me in touch with your submissions team? Which is cool. That's a great email to receive. What I would say is that, it's just us. We do the website and the socials and the all the music and all of the animations. We just want to do everything. Like we're just so, we love this project and we kind of don't want to give any of it away. And it's just us two. So another reason why you should support us on Patreon, because it's just us two, right? So this is Rohan Samuel. This is Seasonal Change. Oh yeah. Let's do something funky.
Seasonal Change by Rohan Samuel. This is a letter to my younger self. Don't be angry. That's what I used to tell myself sometimes when I realise I'm falling into the pit. When my pitfalls align with my sunken place and brought about a rage that could weather storms. Tidal waves of emotion surged through my body because I didn't understand the plan that was set before me. It was like I was reading another language. Hieroglyphics waved in my mind at high speed, which left me emotionally at high tide. Each push and pull of my blood streams, anger and depression trapped in a white cell that I was not immune to. My anger was complex, and that left me perplexed because I didn't deal with situations. Remember, this is the young me, a radicalized radical that only saw the world in red. Wasn't ready to deal with my emotions. My anger was too hot, so I had to ice over any feelings of depression. And I knew that would give me frostbite, but I wasn't of a conscious mind to see that I could bite back. I felt I had to stay in my lane. The most depressed of people walk around with the biggest of smiles. They would rather laugh now and cry later to show that not every thunderstorm comes with lightning. It's frightening how my anger was so misplaced. I felt foggy to the notions of help from friends that I hazed over their ideas because I didn't want to commit to my anger. I always saw it as something of an evil barrier scripting how I should feel. I guess I should have read the scriptures. Instead, I tried to suppress these volcanic eruptions erupting inside of me. An internal battle. Struggle. Finding no alternatives but to suppress. I rained down hailstones of tears to try to cool down the angry lava flow. Holding back the steams from my ears and manifesting it into twisters, but I couldn't control the tornado. Was there an alternative way? I used to speak to myself like, can you hurry out of the hurricane of emotions? Allow the winds to die down to show you that the eye of the storm isn't so cold and lifeless. These stares from pupils is not a fixed vision. You can temporarily tamper the temperature of your temper. That was the start of a different internal battle. I understood I needed help to combat my feelings of anger. My depression had me so wrapped up, but I still felt cold. And I knew the drip feeding of information that was given to me by warm faces, if acknowledged correctly, wouldn't leave me in drought. However, I wasn't ready to accept it yet. I still had humanity's humidity wafting over me. The reality was I didn't know where or when I had to fit in. Trying to surf heat waves with limited emotional understanding. It's no wonder I was on edge. The older me doesn't feel fear anymore. I now know that my anger was a secondary emotion, hiding my real emotions. I can now look over the precipice. The sky is clear. I have more emotional stability to fight torrential rains of terror, withstand monsoons of anger, let it settle, and reverse it back to flood, then back to puddles, because I've applied a subtlety in tsunami. I don't need a... I will not let overcast cast over my mind. I'm self-healing, healing my own self because I don't want the pain of these thundery skies to bring about lightning storms and flood the cracks that earthquakes created when I felt broken. I'm very aware of who I am and my value. I'm filling up the cracks I left behind one by one. I've had to tackle my anger. Now I must remedy what's underneath whatever the weather. There is no more tension when tectonic plates of emotion collide together. I don't quake in my boots. I simply settle on my emotion, try to understand the root cause, fix fissures, and leave my depression depressed from depravity. I just want to tell my younger self, your waking and walking mood does not have to mimic the forecast. You can weather your own storms whenever you need it most. Let positivity be your umbrella to shelter you from the storm, and when you do decide to smile, people will understand what true sunshine is.
When you do decide to smile, people will understand what true sunshine is. Oh, and when you do decide to smile, people will understand what true sunshine is. True sunshine is. What 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 true When you do decide to smile, people will understand what true sunshine is. Sunshine is. What true sunshine is. True sunshine, true sunshine, true sunshine. What true sunshine, true sunshine, true sunshine, true sunshine. What true when you do decide to smile, people will understand what true sunshine is. What true sunshine, true sunshine is. Yeah, what true sunshine, true sunshine, true sunshine, true sunshine, true sun, true sunshine, true, yeah. Why true when you do decide to smile, people will understand. Why true sunshine is. Why true sunshine. This is a letter to my younger self. People will understand. This is a letter to my younger self. That people will understand why true sunshine is. Sunshine is. True sunshine, true sunshine. Yeah, yeah. Why true sunshine. When you do decide to smile, people will understand. Sunshine is. Sunshine is. Why true sunshine is. Sunshine is. What true sunshine is. What true sunshine is. What true sunshine is. What true sunshine is.
There we go. That's how that one ends.
Thank you so much, Rohan. What a beautiful poem. And I think we could all do with having a sit down and telling our younger self that it's all going to be all right, right?
Right.
Right. Okay. Wow. Thank you so much to everybody that's performed so far. You know, as I've said, we're kind of blown away by the whole thing, right? You know?
Yeah. It's just rolled away with itself in a way, and we've had to sort of catch up.
Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah.
With the changing. Everything.
Everything. And this month, especially, the standard of poetry has just blown our minds, right? So we'll be back in 10 minutes. We're going to get changed so that we've got 2 lots of photos, right? Because Nikki's here taking photos. Yeah. And then, so we'll see you back in 10. Put the kettle on or go and grab a beer. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
and welcome back to Echoes and Edges Open Collab with me,
Part
Charlie.
2. And me, Jake.
Yes, and we're Charlie and Jake. And here we are. I tried to be professional and now I very much took him by surprise. So here we are. I hope everybody's doing okay. Let us know in the chat if you're enjoying it so far. And
There's been lots of chat.
who your highlights have been so far. That would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
As I've mentioned, we do this every month on the third Saturday of the month. But our next one, I believe, is going to be on the fourth Saturday of the month, on the 24th. One exception to the rule of it being on the third Saturday, because the third Saturday is my birthday in October, so we're going to go on hollybobs. So you can join us on the 24th. And if you're wanting to send in your poem, then you can totally do that. We'd love that. Submissions are going to be opening maybe in about a week's time. And the best thing to do to find out when is to follow us on Facebook and on Instagram especially. Both are just at Echoes and Edges. Yeah. Another way to keep in touch is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Yes, please.
Do that.
That would be great. So that then you don't need to worry about what Saturday of the month when Charlie's birthday is, whatever, because it'll just pop up because
ding,
you're
ding.
subscribed on YouTube. So that would be pretty lovely, wouldn't it?
That would be lovely. That would be really lovely. Yeah.
So.
And also, yes, I'm just going to put a message in the chat to thank you so much. Thank you for...
You're right.
I'm going to start that again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much to everyone who has already supported us over on Ko-fi and on Patreon. And yes, if you haven't already, please do consider popping over there and buying us a couple of coffees or supporting us on Patreon even, and to help continue making this event happen every month and make it everything that it is, which we think is pretty lovely. And
pretty lovely,
I hope
actually.
that you do too. So there's the link. And
well done.
Did it go? Yes, there
it
is. Without further ado, shall we begin with the next one?
So this month has been, as we've mentioned, an absolute kind of record breaker in terms of numbers of submissions. And we've had so many new people from all over the world. We had about 10 submissions from India and kind of, loads from America, Australia, and then also... and we've had all of these new amazing people, but then also we've got this lovely community of people that just keep coming back for more, right? And one of those people whose poems we've worked with a lot over the past few months, who we've never even met yet, is Mark DeLissa from Bath. So hi, Mark. It's lovely to work with you again. This poem that Mark has sent us this month is called The Mist on the Mountain. Mark says he's a father, husband, son, friend, poet, artist, human, earthling. He says he writes to express and to connect, and in doing so, he has found so much healing. So, Mist on the Mountain, he says, is about how we are intimately connected to Mother Earth and her rhythms. The mist on the mountain is a reflection of how remembering and re-establishing this bond helped me to heal my weary soul. He says, I just want to be part of celebrating your 6-month milestone, Charlie and Jake. I think what you guys have created with Open Collab is absolutely incredible, and it's such a fantastic thing to be a part of. Here's to many more. Cheers! Cheers! One for the camera, one for the camera. Thank you, Mark. It is a pleasure to continue to work with you from... I was going to say from afar, it's not that far, but via the internet. So, where are we going in terms of atmosphere?
Yes, you might have noticed we've already actually made it to the beach. This is a recording of some lovely gentle waves down on the coast of Lyme Regis, which is just south of us, and a very lovely place to go and
in
visit.
Dorset.
So in Dorset, UK. And then there's also a little bit of a background, which I'll just highlight for you here. This is the sound of gale force winds reverberating around a massive stone lighthouse on that same island that the footsteps were on. So this is from inside the lighthouse, and all the wind is going around the outside, and it's quite a powerful thing to experience. So
we're in UK and Australia.
UK and Australia and Bath
and Bath
the UK again.
And
Okay, yeah, right, yeah. Bath is separate. Bristol is separate from the UK. Bath is separate from the UK, isn't it? I don't know. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've all got on a bath.
Let's get on with, with the next. That one. Back to the beach.
So.
This is Mark Delissa with his poem "The Mist on the Mountain."
The mist on the mountain, the dragon's breath, the ghost of the warrior who lay down his weapons to take his final rest. I can hear it in my heart. I can taste it in my soul. I came here alone. I will leave here alone. The rains have kissed my skin. My pain has been blown away by the winds. The clouds have silenced the noise, while the waves have washed away my sins. I have stood in the footsteps of the old gods. I have thrown myself down at the shrines of the new. I have heard their quietest of whispers in the flowers as they bloom. There was a darkness at the edge of the wood, and I was not brave enough to enter until she took my hand and let her light become my armor. There is a song that she sings that sounds like still water, sung in a voice as calming as the late summer. Slumber, rest, and thank the tree for its shade. Walk quietly through the grass. Humble yourself before each and every blade.
There is a song that she sings, it sounds like still water. Song that she sings, it sounds like still water. Sung in a voice as calming as the late summer. There is a song that she sings that sounds like still water. Sung in a voice as calming as the late summer. There is a song that she sings that sounds like still water. Sung in a voice as calming as the late summer. There is a song that she sings that sounds like still water. Sung in a voice as calming as the late summer. There is a song that she sings that sounds like still water. Like still water. Sung in a voice as calming as the late summer. Song she sings, still water. Sung in a voice, late summer. Song she sings, sounds like still water. Sung in a voice as calming as the late summer. A song that she sings that sounds like still water. Sung in a voice as calming as the late summer.
There was a darkness at the edge of the wood, and I was not brave enough to enter until she took my hand and let her light become my armor. There is a song that she sings that sounds like still water, sung in a voice as calming as the late summer. Slumber, rest, and thank the tree for its shade. Walk quietly through the grass. Humble yourself before each and every blade.
Sounds like still water, sung in a voice as common as the late summer. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Mark. Wow. Beautiful as always, Mark. We just love working with you. So good. So calming.
Yeah.
I feel very restored.
Welcome to part 2.
Welcome to part 2. Here we are. Yeah. Okay. We're going to move on with another.
Sorry, carry on.
Oh.
I was agreeing with you, yes.
Yes. We're going to move on. We're going to move on with another returnee, some more alumni, 2 alumni, 1 alumnus.
Yes.
Yes. This is another poem from Blackswan and Robin, who we have worked with so much over Open Collab. And they themselves are a creative collaboration from London and Devon. Since lockdown, they say, we have written about hope, about clarity, disruption, and distraction. And with the constant threads of our contrasting experiences of rural and urban, male and female, black and white, running through our works. So Blackswan and Robin, we've worked with many times at Open Collab, and we're so excited to have them here tonight, virtually, and be working with them once again. So this is a song, this is a poem that they wrote especially for us, which is so cool. Thank you so much, guys. We're chuffed to bits, really. Yeah. So they say about this poem called Milestones, at this greatly unpredictable and unknown time, reaching and marking milestones is especially odd and challenging. With layers of anxiety, regret, future panic, we can all question our place in decision-making. This short wash poem was created in August 2020 during the COVID pandemic and ever-present racial injustice. This poem was created in response to a prompt by Echoes and Edges to mark 6 months of their Open Collab event, which began during the pandemic lockdown. Okay, so I'm going to put the guitar down.
Oh, yes.
Meanwhile, why don't you tell us, why don't you talk for a bit?
Yeah, I mean, yes, there's not much I can say, really. Where, well, I don't want to give it away because then everyone will win the task that I set earlier. And this next one's not a sound that I recorded. The game's up now.
Does that mean you owe everyone a drink in the chat?
I guess so, yeah, yeah. Whenever we do a live performance, if you're there and you remember it and you let me know, then I might think that you're pretty cool.
No financial commitment.
I didn't want to go too far. So, yes. So this, but this is from Singapore. This sound, but it's just basically it's a good city sound, and I really liked it, so I thought I'd put it in. Are we ready over here?
So Blackswan and Robin, a lot of their poem, especially a lot of their work in general, but this poem in particular has a lot of voice, the two voices weaving in and out of one another. And so, which is really cool. So what they've done is they've also made a kind of a video to go along. I was going to call it a lyric video, but it's lyrics for me.
Yeah, yeah.
So do follow along on the side. So thank you so much for making the accompanying video. So cool. All right, so this is Blackswan and Robin with Milestones. Whoa!
Didn't want that. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry.
Stop. That's from before the break.
That was it.
Forgot to clear everything, didn't
Oops. Sorry.
Okay.
You can't see it, but our loop pedal's down here. If you join our Patreon, we'll give you a tour.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to work now. 3. Yes, all right. We're all clear.
So this is Blackswan and Robin with Milestones.
Milestones. How long is the road you live on?
How can you
long
start a story with an ending?
Or short?
This journey.
How many doors
This
to go
time.
in or to abort?
Bending, twisting,
The
loving.
ones missed, maybe for the next life.
Contorting hearts and views lost spending.
Experience to enter or avoid.
Years searching for a meaning.
Now, for the one, the open heightens the sensory.
Answers,
From crawling
motifs,
on all
omens, symbols,
fours,
and
from
triumphs.
nursery
Give me the
to taking a
Polaroid
degree,
moment.
a bursary,
To mark out the stars
to
in
boost
our worldly confinement.
knowledge university.
As to what all this means and
They
why we all met.
and I believe
click,
in the hard
turn,
currency
click.
of
You
intelligence,
said, trust the universe is in
a
alignment.
higher IQ,
You look to the well-fed one, the
higher,
brother with all his
wider
work
view.
done, smoking a
but
fat
it's
one,
never
and contented.
take one
But is he
side,
really?
but understand, overstanding too.
You don't know his story,
A courage
his
to
yearnings and
experience
insecurities,
with
his
creative
regrets and
openness.
unmet lovings,
From humble beginnings
and me.
to go through responding well to
I
losing
said,
and winning,
trust that you are right where you need to be.
forgiving, to lighten the soul of burdens,
A mantra for my maternal dichotomy,
treating all parts of this
the
rock
push and pull poetry of mothering and me,
with compassion, noticing,
where child
reflecting
is so prominent in her novel.
on valuable lessons.
Pages torn, dog-eared and loved, spines glued and bonded, still and
Know
all of
when
it.
to wisely draw
Click,
from
click,
weapon.
internal, click, click.
No regrets to the grave.
I don't go to the
Free
obvious,
oneself
to
from
the
the
obvious.
chains.
Too cliche maybe.
Equilibrium of heart
Empty
and
gestures in
brains.
Hallmark cards
From the
to make me
foundation,
spend money. A moment to fix my memory.
insane to sane.
Rather it is to look yourself or another loved one in the eye and not to know that this is it. This is what winning feels like. Running in circles, frozen, laughing at the beach. Bike rides through the night. Chats unraveling each other's tight stories to loosen and grow through the woven web of all this. Click, click. Internal, external. Click, click.
Blackswan.
And Robin.
I trust that you are right where you need to be. A mantra for my maternal eternal dichotomy, the push and pull poetry of mothering and me. And I said, trust me, you are right where you need to be. A mantra for my maternal dichotomy, the push and pull poetry of mothering and me. Oh, trust that you are right where you need to be. A mantra for my maternal dichotomy, the push and pull poetry of mothering and me. Just that you are right where you need to be. A mantra for my maternal dichotomy, the push and pull poetry of mothering and me. Just that you are right where you need to be. A mantra for my maternal dichotomy, the push and pull poetry of mothering and me. Just that you are right where you need. You don't know his story for my maternal dichotomy, his yearnings and his insecurity of mothering and me. Why you don't know his story? You are right where you need to be. You don't know his story for my maternal dichotomy, the push and the pull poetry of mothering and me. Oh, trust that you are right where you need to be. A mantra for my maternal dichotomy, the push and pull poetry of mothering and me. Ooh, and I say, trust that you are right where you need to be. A mantra for my maternal dichotomy, the push and pull poetry of mothering and me. Thank you so much, Blackswan and Robin, for that super cool poem. I can't believe you guys improvised that. That was so cool. So lush. Thank you so much. And a collaboration within a collaboration too, right?
Yeah.
You okay?
Yeah, that was good.
That was good, wasn't it? We could have done that for about 15 more minutes, couldn't we?
Thought about it.
So thank you so much, guys. That was magic. So, our next poem, we're going all the way to Perth, right?
Yeah, Perth, Australia.
Hello. So it must be 5 a.m. I don't know. There. So I don't think that they'll be watching it live.
Yeah, I think it's coming up to 6 a.m. now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this poem is from Kirsten Jane, and it's called 7. Kirsten is a writer passionate about magic, realism, and dreamy prose from Perth, Australia. This piece is about catching a train the wrong way whilst thinking about questions that I can never ask my father. He died from alcoholism in July. This piece explores how grief infiltrates your daily routine and how it sometimes derails you.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
I think I'm ready.
I was thinking about your fixation on the 7-year cycle when I managed to catch my train backwards, wondering if you'd considered our estrangement a cyclical silence as it had travelled into its 7th year. The traction seemed heavier as I was pulled the wrong way, speeding past stops that blurred with your memory. Had you still thought about time in such units of measure? Or had the sky just become a revolving door that kept pushing you forward? On the day of your funeral, Nimbus swept gently against the chapel glass. The fact that you were such a difficult commuter was eclipsed by your choice to make such an early departure. Strangers from the last leg of your ride cried with knowledge I envied. Men and women I didn't know told me you loved to play piano at a church I had never heard of, for a god whom you'd once been ambivalent. They told me you would be missed, as if I didn't realize, as if that wasn't familiar, like I didn't already know how that felt. I swapped to the right side of the tracks, trying to realign my day. One of my students greeted me warmly, surprised to learn I didn't drive. She explained that her dad dropped her at the station on his way to work. We sat together and waited for the next train, due in 7 minutes.
Wow. Thank you so much, Kirsten, for sharing that with us. Sharing, your life with people you don't know on the other side of the world. And that really beautiful poem, and really amazing video performance too. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. And Jake, blimey, you can play piano, can't you? That was really amazing. So thank you for sharing that, Kirsten.
Yeah, thank you.
So, where are we off to next?
Back to Bristol.
Back to Bristol.
Back to Bristol.
Woo.
Yeah. And this next poem is from David Punter, and David Punter is one of 3 poets that makes up the poets of the Echoes and Edges collective. We are Charlie and Jake, the musicians, and then we have worked in the past with 3 wonderful poets from Bristol, and yeah, that the project sort of started. It must be 5 or 6 years ago now. It always goes up every time I talk about it. Funny that, isn't it? Anyway. And David is one of those poets who we've worked with in the past, and this is also, the project is obviously where the Open Collab project came out of, because right at the beginning of lockdown, before lockdown happened, we were supposed to be releasing an album of our work that we'd worked together over the last year, which was lots and lots of collaborations with some of these 3 poets' poems and our music, and that was David Punter, and then also Gilly Harries and Tim Vosper, aka Spiky Tim. So look him up, and I think most of them are in the chat. I haven't been able to see. I think you're in the chat. Hello. And what we worked on was this album, which is right here, which is called Glory in the Bone. It's on the screen. Nikki was trying to get a picture of it, I think, but it's virtually here. But it is also physical. A physical copy can be yours as well. But basically, we worked together with these 3 poets to create an album of recordings of music and their poetry, and it was an absolute joy to create with them. And right at the beginning, before lockdown happened, we were supposed to release it, and then lockdown happened, so it had to go online. And then after we did it online, we were like, hey, we could do this again. So we did, and we invited everyone from all over the world, because everyone was suddenly in this sort of state of lack of collaboration, lack of creativity maybe, or not lack of creativity, but like less creative outlets to go and sort of see an open mic or take part in an open mic or share an evening with friends making music. So we decided to try and make that happen online, and
Here we are.
So, yes, Glory in the Bone is the album that we produced with David. You can find some of his pieces on there. But this one is not from that album.
But you can listen to the album over on our website, echoesandedges.co.uk.
You can, yes.
Great.
Yes. Lovely.
Good.
So that's the plug over. And let's get back to David. There we go. And his piece called Making a Day of It. And there we go.
So what we're going to do is we're going to pair him up with another friend of ours, Bronwen, who's sent in a beautiful poem too. And again, we're going to do what we did in the first half. They kind of have quite similar themes of hopefulness and kind of being in lockdown and appreciating the little things in a day. So we've put them both together. So I'll read you Bronwen's bits and bobs. So Bronwen is our pal from Murmuration Choir, Bronwen Evans, and her poem is called Sparrow's Nest. Bronwen is a writer and poet originally from London, now living in Somerset, influenced by nature, the seasons, observation and memory. This poem, Sparrow's Nest, is based around taking a minute to appreciate the life changes you've managed to make, and that even when it doesn't seem like it, more positive change is possible. We spend a lot of time thanking others and external forces for their help on our journeys, and I've realised that sometimes it's necessary and nice to thank ourselves too. Yeah, thank you, Bronwen. So we will start with David's Making a Day of It, and then we will go into Bronwen's poem, Sparrow's Nest.
Lovely. Do you need anything?
Yes, could you pass me the little harp, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
Much easier.
Thank you very much. Where's this from? Do you know?
It says on the back, I think.
Honestly, most of the things in our house, most of the instruments, we just don't know where they're from anymore.
67 High Street, Kings Langley, Hertfordshire, WD 49HU.
Good. Well, now we can all... I mean, you did answer the question. Thank you.
Handcrafted, though, and inspired by similar instruments from Greece, like lyres and harps and things like that. So it's very nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
What else are you going to play in this one?
I'm going to play a rainforest pad.
Ooh.
Which is this one. Sounds like a rainforest.
That does sound like a rainforest. What about
Oh, and the anklon. The anklon. These are actually from the rainforest. They're very exciting.
Yeah.
So these are there's a whole lot of them up on the shelf, but this is just 2 of them, and they're all made from bamboo, and they make lovely sound.
They're nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
Where do they come from?
They are from
your mum's house.
My mum's house in Reading, but originally from Indonesia, Malaysia, Bali, but I can't remember where New Guinea. She went to New Guinea on a trip, and she found these.
Okay.
And got them. There you go.
Good.
Do you want the address?
Yeah. Sorry, I only work in postcodes.
But they're really nice, and they'll feature in a second. So
okay.
Look out for that.
Thank you.
Okay. So this is, first of all, David Punter with Making a Day of It. And we need...
Can I just say, the only note I wrote for myself for this was, play that little harp thing.
We'll see what happens. Okay.
Making a Day of It. A snatch of Harry Belafonte on the radio, singing Mary's Boy Child, though it isn't Christmas. A small girl in the park, picking up a hazel twig, stopping, ambushed in a green hush as she whips it. 2 robins on the lawn, prancing, preening in dignity, outside my bee-bombarded study window. My granddaughter feeding swans by the lake, while they produce a glare she will later perceive as malevolent. High fading contrails, producing for a poised moment a perfect letter X, immediately erased. A solicitor sign advertising wills, bequests, death advice. Furtive movement behind the smoked panes. Somewhere else, the unheard roar of oceans, the slow smashing of tectonic plates, lava flow. What gives us to sew these fragments together to make a multicoloured, imperfect day?
I watch the sparrows peacefully, gratefully remembering I'd always longed to have a treetop right against my window so I could peer into their little world, watch their lives surrounding me up close between the worm and flight. Their home, an extension of mine. I have that now, and with it the power to stop conversant with the present, to thank myself and the surrounding ether incandescent, leading path lit by the stars, distant from time when all these lived so far apart. I feel myself in each surmount, reminded to count my alchemy from hometown nebula, magic hallowing in their amount. When I watch the sparrows talking, on the bush, branches shaking, it is incarnate, once again, forgot, but taught long true, that you can't always evolve the nature of folk, but you can often change the view.
Change the past, but you can change the view. You can change the past, but you can change the view. You can change the past, but you can change the view. You can change the past, but you can change the view. You can always evolve the nature of folk, but you can often change the view. You can always evolve the nature of folk, but you can often change the view. You can change the view. You can change the past, but you can change the view. You can change the view. You can change the past, but you can change the view. You can change the view. You can change the past. You can change the view. You can change the view. You can always evolve the nature of folk, but you can often change the view. You can always evolve the nature of folk, but you can often change the view. You can change the past. You can change the. You can change the view. You can change the. You can change the past. You can change the. You can change the view. Ooh. Oh, can't change the past, but you can change the view. Thank you. Thank you so much to David. It's always a pleasure to work with David.
Yeah.
And to lovely Bronwen, who it is also always a pleasure to work with. This has been such a lovely celebration for us and a lovely milestone of you know, of the coming together of kind of people that have been with us through the start. I mean, with David from the very beginning of us working with music and poetry, kind of 3 or 4 years ago, to then people that came into Open Collab in April and had no idea what it was going to be like, and still sent us their poems and trusted us with their work to create music around. You know, people like Bronwen and Blackswan and Robin and Mark DeLissa, you know, who've been with us from the start, right? And then we've got this whole new, you know, we've got a lovely new crowd of people coming in, right? A new family, a new community.
If you stay, you're welcome to stay.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We've got a couple left for you. This has been really, really magic, and I'm really glad that we bought the balloon.
Yes.
So, talking of new friends and new faces, this next poem is by Claire Davis, and it's called Because Sculpture. Claire is a Vancouver poet writing about the human condition in all of its machinations. That's the one. It's because it said machine at the her poetry sparsely captures moments with tension, like the words themselves are holding their breath. So she says, poetry is how I make sense of the world, as if the broken pieces were clues to the whole. So I'm going to let Claire introduce the poem, right? What am I going to play? Yeah. I'm going to play your garden piano.
Oh, yeah. Should we talk about that?
Yeah.
Well, I can do.
Go on.
Yes, all right. So this sound here, this is a lovely, very rustic kind of warm and friendly sounding piano. It's actually a piano that was out on the veranda of my parents' house for a couple of years, and it was always intended to be sort of like something that I don't know, it's there for the rustic quality, for like the sort of falling apart, the deterioration of it. And so one day I decided to record every single note of it, one at a time, and then turn it into an instrument that we can now play. And some of the higher notes. A dog barking in the background, which is really nice. It's just that, yeah, I recorded it when it was just like during the day. Another time when it was raining as well, and it was under this plastic roof, so there's lots of rain in the background, and then a few other things that I did, and it's just really nice. I just love the sound of it. It's quite real and homely compared to like, which sounds lovely, but it's very piano, whereas that is very lived. You know?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that features in this one, and we will see how it features after Claire introduces the poem for us.
Hey, Charlie and Jake. This is Claire Davis from Vancouver, Canada. This poem, Because Sculpture, has a desirous feel to it. It's about tension and suspension, and is really about how when we're really clicking with someone, it feels like we're so in sync with them that the rest of the world seems out of step with us, almost robotic.
Double bass for this one.
Because Sculpture by Claire Davis. When I find I am halfway through you, hearts and lungs redoubled, ribs interlocked in the messy way of small metal puzzles, you taste different to me. Like I am in your mouth, serving my own tongue forth for utterance, and to suckle on this, a thing desperate and wanting. There is no escaping this shrouded thud space of smooth things finding home. Like how my left kidney now lies atop your diaphragm, crowded by my spleen, which hoped beyond hope to elbow a space under your liver, but tired too early. I cling hard so as not to rip entirely. Bees die for less, I fear. We are meshed, transplanted, and you do not stop, but instead offer my own name on a borrowed tongue, and I tell you I don't know me anymore. Because we are sculpture, and the rest are walking around like the stuff of life with no arc at all.
'cause we are sculpture, we are. We are sculpture, we are. We are sculpture, we are. I don't know me anymore. We are sculpture. Oh, and the rest are walking around like the stuff of life with no art at all. Oh, we are, we are. We are sculpture. We are sculpture. We are sculpture. We are mesh. We are meshed. We are mesh. We are meshed. I don't know me anymore. We are meshed. I don't know me anymore. I'm walking around. And the rest are, I don't know me. And the rest are walking around. And the rest are, I don't know me. And the rest are walking around. And the rest are, I don't know me. We are sculpture walking around. We are sculpture. I don't know me. We are sculpture. We are. We are sculpture. We are sculpture. We are sculpture.
Yes! Woo! Woo!
Thank you so much, Claire, for that beautiful poem and amazing metaphor about being meshed and being together. Yeah. Okay.
Spaced after that one. That was.
Yeah. Wow. That was awesome. Lovely. Thank you so much, Claire. Whew. We've got one more for you.
One more.
Just the one.
Just one.
Just one. I know.
Oh, I know.
It has been really magical. Thank you so much for joining us. Please come back. We're here every month. And please do continue to support us on Ko-fi and on Patreon so that we can continue to do this Open Collab forever, maybe. Anything else before we introduce the last one?
I hope you've all had a lovely time.
I hope you've all had a lovely time.
Yes, we have.
Yes.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks. We can't wait to read through all of the chat and the comments that have been going on. Yeah, we've been seeing them flying past and it's been really nice.
Let's do the last one then.
Let's do the last one. Yeah. Shall I?
You may. Or shall I?
You shall.
I shall. So the last poem tonight, we wanted to end with something beautiful and positive, as we always do, right? So this poem is by Addison, and it's called Build a City. And Star is an emerging voice in the world of poetry from Ohio. This poem, Build a City, she says, I wrote this poem after watching a movie entitled The Story of Us. In the movie, a couple is contemplating divorce and separate for several months. During the movie, you see that there weren't any huge issues like infidelity or addiction. The couple got so caught up in life, they forgot to care about each other. In the end, they reconcile. It drove home that we all have to take care of those we cherish. So, this is Addison with Build a City.
This is called Build a City. I hope and pray that once upon a time, someday, a little girl's dreams can come true. Dreams of love equally shared by two. He the husband that makes me a wife. Lights replace stars in the night. And dreams melted in reality come alive within me. I want to belong to someone and build our own city. I want to spend forever never being alone, happily making a house into a home, to never take or be taken for granted, refusing negativity to orbit our planet. So into us that into you is into me. Sometimes love hurts, but it's always a blessing. The world can be a lonely place. Let love come and get weak. I can see forever in your face, and I want to build a city. I want to stand in my granddaddy's church and see you waiting for me. And when it gets hard, he'll put in work, 'cause see, he'll adore me as I do him. I just want to be able to check husband as my next of kin. I want to stand barefoot in the kitchen as I carry your baby. Eyes will tend to glisten as each day we learn to grow and live love anew. And I just want to build a city with you.
Taken for granted, refusing negativity all without planning. Never taken for granted, refusing negativity. Never be taken for granted, refusing negativity all without planning. Never be taken for granted, refusing negativity. I wanna build a city. Never take. I wanna build a city. taken for granted. I want some negativity. I wanna build a city with you. 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 Wanna build a city with dreams melted into reality with you. Come alive for me. And dreams melted into reality with you. Come alive for me. I can see forever in your face. I can see forever in your face. Dreams melted. Build a city with you. Wanna 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 build a city with you. To never take or be taken for granted. Refusing negativity out of our planet. To never take or be taken for granted. Refusing negativity out of our planet. To never take or be taken for granted. Sometimes love hurts, but it's always a blessing. Wanna build a city, but it's always a blessing. Wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. To never take or be taken for granted. Refusing negativity all in our planet. To never take or be taken for granted. Refusing negativity all in our planet. To never take or be taken for granted. Refusing negativity all in our planet. To never take or be taken for granted. I wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. Thank you so much, Star, for ending our show. Wow.
What a piece. Thanks
so
much.
Positive and beautiful. Thank you, Star.
What a performance. It's gorgeous.
So cool.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. That's the end.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Thank you so much to everybody who has watched, who has submitted, who has been with us along this 6-month so far journey of collaborating and remaining creative.
Yeah.
And
it's been amazing.
It's been so cool.
I've never been so creative in my life.
Oh gosh, I feel exhausted. Do you?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
We made all that up, you know.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. If you would like to submit your poetry for next month's event,
yes,
then please do. Submissions will open soon, maybe in the next week or so. And you can submit via our website, opencollab.co.uk. Is that true? Yes.
Well, you will be able to when it's open.
When it's open. Yeah. And we will see you next month for the next one on the 24th of October. Thank you so much for watching. And thank you so much for all your coffee donations and your Patreon pledges and becoming part of our Patreon POW crew.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow morning, possibly. Is that true?
I think we said if there was 10
before the stream.
Before the stream.
Oh, so we're not doing one tomorrow.
Yes.
But we'll do one next month where we're going to do kind of a breakdown and a chat of everything that we did and the loops that we made and things like that, so you can get some kind of behind the scenes, how did they do that kind of thing. Maybe that's what we should have called it. How did they do that?
Maybe.
Thank you so much for sending in your poems and for trusting us to make music around your words and your sometimes really personal, really moving stories. This has been, as always, a really poignant and beautiful evening of
poetry and music.
Poetry and music.
Yeah, it's a real privilege, I think, for us.
A real privilege
to have such inspiration every month to create music around, because otherwise, I mean, it's very hard to just create something out of nothing. And obviously, all of these poets have done it, and then sent it into us, and then we've sort of skipped that first bit, and we just have this amazing world of words that they have already created and they've already spent time on to then put our own things over it and make it come to life in our own way for us. And it's been really amazing. Thank you so much, everyone.
I wanna build a city with you. I wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you.
Wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you.
So we'll see you next month on the 24th of October. Thank you so much for listening and for celebrating with us. Have a lovely month. We'll see you on Instagram and things like that.
Yeah.
Before then, don't worry if you've missed this or if you want to watch it again.
Or share it with your friends.
And share it with your friends. This is going to be online forever. And if this is your first time at Open Collab, you've got 5 more to catch up on, all on our YouTube, right?
Yeah.
So that's your tomorrow sorted. Have a lovely month. Take care of yourselves and each other. And we'll see you in a month.
In a month.
Wanna
Bye-bye.
build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. Wanna build a city with you. Build
Bye-bye.
a city with
To the
you.
ending.
Wanna
Woo!
build a city